In a world full of lions, sometimes it's the silent wolf who commands the most respect. It's no secret that society loves to label, to put people in neat boxes, alpha, beta, gamma. But beneath these categories lies a less talked about enigma, the sigma male. While the alpha is often seen leading the pack, exuding confidence and demanding attention, the sigma male quietly redefines power in his own unconventional way, keeping everyone guessing. Here's a surprising fact. Studies suggest that up to 60% of people feel most comfortable around those who don't vie for the spotlight. Sigmas aren't out to dominate the room or steal the show. They're the ones lurking on the edges, watching, analyzing, and often influencing without uttering a word. Alphas may lead the charge, but Sigmas are the ones quietly observing them, often with a hint of amusement and a raised eyebrow, thinking that's one way to do it. As we delve into the hidden dynamics between these two powerful personality types, prepare to challenge the classic leader of the pack narrative and uncover why sometimes the most intriguing personalities are the ones you hardly notice. Until you do. Number 1, the intelligence of silence. The intelligence of silence is a defining trait of the Sigma male, a quality that sets him apart in a world that often rewards the loudest voice. Sigma males understand that sometimes saying nothing speaks volumes. While alpha males often rely on assertive speech to make their presence felt, Sigmas command attention in a quieter, more subtle way. Silence becomes their tool, a deliberate act that amplifies their mystery and draws others in without effort. This kind of silence is anything but passive. It's a calculated approach that gives them the power to influence a situation by simply observing and waiting. A Sigma male's silence isn't just about not speaking, it's about deeply listening, reading the room, and allowing others to reveal their true selves. By staying quiet, Sigmas create a psychological space that makes others feel compelled to fill the gap with their thoughts, insecurities, or ambitions. This ability to listen without rushing to speak can often make others feel a rare sense of being understood, even when the Sigma has said little in return. Over time, people come to value the Sigma's opinion because they know when he finally speaks, he'll cut straight to the truth without embellishment. Silence also becomes a buffer, allowing Sigmas to process and analyze. They often take their time to assess situations, seeing things others miss. While alphas may command the spotlight through energy and volume, Sigmas achieve influence by holding back, observing, and speaking only when their words have maximum impact. This gives their statements a weight and authority that others can't easily ignore. In a world where noise is constant, the Sigma male's silence speaks louder than words, giving him a quiet power that's hard to overlook and even harder to challenge. Number 2, emotional detachment versus charismatic expression. Emotional detachment is a powerful, defining quality of the Sigma male, setting him apart from the expressive, charismatic alpha. Sigmas maintain a calm, reserved demeanor that can often feel impenetrable. This emotional detachment isn't a lack of feeling, rather it's a conscious choice to keep emotions under control and carefully guarded. Unlike alphas, who frequently project emotions openly, whether confidence, anger, or enthusiasm, Sigmas remain composed, giving little away. This subtle restraint becomes a kind of armor, creating an aura of mystery that can make others both curious and cautious around them. The Sigma's emotional detachment doesn't mean he lacks empathy or connection. It simply means he doesn't seek validation or attention through emotional display. While alphas often draw energy from expressing their emotions outwardly, fueling social connections and asserting their presence, Sigmas find strength in holding their feelings close. They're not interested in proving themselves through outward displays or aligning their emotions with others' expectations. This level of restraint allows them to make decisions based on logic rather than impulse, giving them a controlled and steady approach to life that others find both intriguing and reassuring. Emotional detachment also gives Sigmas a heightened level of adaptability. By not attaching themselves emotionally to outcomes, they can pivot and move forward with little hesitation if things don't go as planned. People may see Sigmas as indifferent, but their calm exterior hides a deeper ability to adapt without feeling defeated or frustrated. This control over emotions allows Sigmas to keep a clear head in stressful situations and respond to challenges without being overwhelmed. The result is a personality that's often difficult to read but undeniably powerful. In contrast to the alpha's visible charisma, the sigma's quiet detachment creates a mystique, revealing that sometimes less is far more compelling. Number 3, the authority of absence. The authority of absence is one of the most captivating qualities of the sigma male, setting him apart from the alpha's visible, commanding presence. For alphas, authority often comes from actively engaging with others and asserting control within their environment. They're front and center, using their influence in tangible, visible ways, establishing their dominance through leadership and interaction. Sigmas, however, possess a different kind of authority, one that thrives on subtlety and the power of their absence. When a sigma male chooses not to participate, his absence often speaks louder than any visible display of power. He operates on his own terms, entering and leaving social circles without needing acknowledgement. This freedom to walk away, to be in a space but not defined by it, creates a unique form of influence. People notice when he's not there. They feel his lack of presence as a void, wondering about his reasons for keeping distance. This deliberate absence builds intrigue and respect. It subtly communicates that he doesn't need anyone's approval to validate his identity or worth. This authority of absence is also grounded in the sigma's independence. He isn't bound by the usual rules of social hierarchy, so he doesn't rely on others to affirm his value. Unlike the alpha, who finds energy and affirmation in leading a group, the sigma knows his strength is internal, not dependent on external validation. His ability to detach himself from group dynamics reveals a self-confidence that doesn't need to be constantly reinforced by others' attention or praise. Through this absence, the sigma creates an almost magnetic respect. People realize he doesn't need to lead or control to have power. His influence comes from knowing he can be present or distant whenever he chooses, a quiet authority that's felt even when he isn't there. Number 4, the loner myth and reality. The image of the sigma male as a lone wolf is a common one, but it's often misunderstood. While sigmas are known for their independence, they aren't necessarily antisocial or isolated by choice. Instead, they have a higher standard for meaningful relationships and a selective approach to social interaction. Unlike alphas, who thrive on building and nurturing social bonds to reinforce their position and influence, sigmas are content with fewer connections, as long as those connections are deep, genuine, and aligned with their values. For a sigma, being alone isn't a sign of rejection or disengagement. It's a matter of quality over quantity. They prefer fewer but richer relationships, and they're unafraid of solitude if it means avoiding superficial connections. This doesn't mean they're detached from society. Rather, they invest their time and energy only in people who truly resonate with them. This selective approach to relationships can make sigmas seem distant, but it's simply a result of their high threshold for connection. They avoid small talk and superficial friendships, preferring substance and sincerity. Alphas, on the other hand, often see social bonds as essential tools in establishing their leadership and influence. They seek out connections with a broader range of people, using social interaction to strengthen their position within a group. For alphas, relationships are about building a support network that reinforces their role as a leader. In contrast, sigmas focus less on group dynamics and more on their personal principles. They don't avoid people, but they have no desire to lead or be led. The sigma's version of lone wolf is a myth that conceals a deeper reality, a desire for independence balanced with select, genuine connections. While alphas depend on social circles to solidify their authority, sigmas feel powerful within themselves, unafraid to walk alone, but open to those rare, meaningful bonds that align with their inner world. And number 5, strategic minimalist versus commanding abundance. Sigmas live by a principle of strategic minimalism, choosing to focus on only what genuinely serves them. They avoid unnecessary attachments, whether possessions, relationships, or commitments, maintaining a sense of freedom that allows them to adapt and move through life unrestrained. This minimalistic approach isn't just about having fewer things, it's about valuing quality and purpose over quantity. Sigmas are deliberate in what they own, the connections they keep, and how they spend their time, allowing them to stay flexible and fully in control of their own lives. This focus on essentials means they're unburdened by the weight of excess, making it easy for them to pursue what truly matters without distraction. In contrast, alphas embrace abundance as a tool to reinforce their social status. They often accumulate resources, connections, and status symbols that project their success and authority. To an alpha, these visible markers, whether a strong social network, valuable assets, or high-profile achievements, serve to solidify their role as leaders and maintain their influence. Their possessions and connections become extensions of their identity, creating a sense of control and dominance over their environment. To an alpha, abundance reinforces their power and shows others that they are capable, influential, and deserving of respect. This contrast in lifestyle reflects a deeper difference in values. Sigmas prioritize autonomy and personal freedom, viewing minimalism as a way to stay true to themselves without being bound by material or social expectations. They value the ability to pivot without constraint, seeing excess as a potential trap. Alphas, however, see accumulation as a testament to their strength and success, embodying their need to lead and maintain a visible presence. Where alphas build their authority through abundance, sigmas quietly cultivate it through independence, valuing freedom over possession and depth over breadth. Number 6, the social paradox of sigma. The sigma male embodies a social paradox that's as intriguing as it is confounding. Unlike alpha males, who often climb and command social structures to secure their status, sigmas quietly sidestep these dynamics. They don't seek to lead, follow, or place themselves in any defined role. Instead, sigmas disrupt social structures simply by ignoring them, choosing to operate outside traditional hierarchies and avoiding the need to establish dominance. This resistance to social expectation gives them a rare kind of authority, one that isn't dependent on a fixed position or external validation, but is rooted in their own sense of self. Sigmas have an uncanny ability to fit in wherever they choose, effortlessly adapting to different social circles and environments. However, they rarely stay for long. They are observers, drifters who enter social settings on their own terms and exit just as easily. This ability to blend in without becoming a permanent part of the group creates a mystique around them. Others are drawn to sigmas, sensing their independence and self-assuredness, yet they are often left wondering where these mysterious individuals go and what truly motivates them. This "now you see me, now you don't" quality can make sigmas seem elusive and unpredictable. While alphas seek to build social connections as a way to reinforce their position, sigmas are indifferent to social approval. They don't need to prove themselves through social standing or loyalty to a group, nor do they feel a need to be understood by others. This detachment not only frees them from social pressures, but also makes them harder to categorize, which further amplifies their intrigue. Sigmas operate by their own principles, with no obligation to adhere to group norms, creating a paradox where they're both insiders and outsiders, accepted yet never fully integrated. This balance of fitting in, yet staying detached, gives the sigma a quiet but undeniable influence that's as compelling as it is difficult to pin down. Number 7, mystique versus popularity. Sigmas carry an aura of mystique that stems from their intentional lack of transparency. They reveal only what they choose, keeping much of their personality and thoughts hidden from view. This deliberate secrecy makes them elusive and hard to define, intriguing those around them. People are drawn to sigmas not because they're easy to understand, but precisely because they aren't. Their mystery keeps others guessing, creating a sense of fascination that builds their influence quietly without any need for direct validation or recognition. In contrast, alphas thrive on visibility and popularity. They don't seek to be enigmatic. Instead, they want to be seen, understood, and recognized for their qualities. Alphas leverage their social capital, actively building relationships and seeking recognition to maintain their status. Popularity becomes a tool for alphas, reinforcing their role as leaders and ensuring their place within the group. They rely on transparency to strengthen connections, allowing others to feel they know them well, which in turn reinforces loyalty and admiration. While alphas build influence through shared understanding, sigmas do so through a carefully maintained distance. This mystery makes others more curious about sigmas, often elevating their presence in a subtle, almost magnetic way. By revealing only fragments of who they are, Sigmas encourage others to seek them out, to try and uncover the layers they keep hidden. This contrast reflects a deeper difference in approach. Sigmas are content with remaining unknown, existing in the background while still holding a powerful presence. Alphas, however, find purpose in the visible affirmation of their role and strength. In a world where openness is often rewarded, the Sigma's mystique challenges expectations. Their intentional lack of transparency not only sets them apart, but grants them an enigmatic authority that doesn't rely on popularity. It's a power that thrives in shadows, proving that sometimes what's unseen is just as compelling as what's openly admired. Number 8, disruptors versus enforcers. Sigmas are natural disruptors, but not in a loud or confrontational way. Their disruption lies in their refusal to conform to established norms and hierarchies. They don't actively challenge authority or rally against the rules, they simply don't engage with them. By opting out of traditional social structures, Sigmas send a powerful message. They're self-directed, not bound by the expectations or validations that others seek within a hierarchy. This quiet resistance creates a ripple effect, subtly challenging the entire structure. People may notice the Sigma's detachment, realizing that a person can have influence without needing to dominate or climb any social ladder. Alphas, on the other hand, serve as enforcers of these social hierarchies. They operate within the rules, often shaping and reinforcing them to maintain their status and influence. Alphas thrive within a structure where they can assert leadership, set boundaries, and establish order. For them, the hierarchy is a familiar framework that not only supports their authority, but also validates their identity as leaders. Alphas are comfortable in defined roles and work to keep the system intact, believing that order within a hierarchy is essential for group success. In a sense, Sigmas and Alphas embody two opposing forces. Sigmas, as disruptors, subtly challenge the need for any fixed structure. Their independence questions the idea that value or respect must be earned through a position within a hierarchy. Alphas, as enforcers, reinforce the structure itself, ensuring that each role is respected and that social order is maintained. The Sigma's refusal to participate in hierarchical dynamics reveals a new form of influence, one that doesn't rely on status or control. Their quiet disruption doesn't just break rules, it redefines them, showing that sometimes the greatest impact comes from simply opting out. Alphas, meanwhile, reinforce the importance of structure and leadership, creating stability within the system. Together, these two forces illustrate how power can be wielded either by building systems or by existing outside them, each approach offering a unique kind of authority. Number 9, independence as an end goal. For the Sigma male, independence is not just a trait, it is the ultimate goal. Everything he does is oriented toward achieving complete freedom, the autonomy to move through life without the constraints of societal expectations or the approval of others. Sigmas value self-sufficiency and control over their own destiny above all else. To them, success isn't measured by accolades or the accumulation of power in the traditional sense. It's about maintaining the ability to make decisions on their own terms, to live life without being tethered to anyone's idea of what is normal or expected. Their focus is inward, cultivating a life that is shaped by their own principles, desires, and choices free from the influence of others. In contrast, Alphas often see their success through a more external lens. The ultimate achievement for an Alpha is to shape the environment around them, to assert their influence and be seen as a leader. They thrive on recognition and validation, seeking to be acknowledged by their peers and asserting dominance within their social circles. To an Alpha, the end goal is to not only control their own life, but to have the power to influence others and bend the environment to their will. They derive satisfaction from being at the center of things, recognized as the one who sets the tone, makes the decisions, and defines the direction for those around them. While both Sigmas and Alphas crave control, the nature of that control differs vastly. Sigmas seek to control their own lives and maintain the freedom to move within the world as they choose. Alphas, however, are driven by the need to control and shape their environment, often with the desire to be admired, followed, and respected. In the Sigma's world, the greatest victory is autonomy. In the Alpha's, it is influence and visibility. Both paths lead to power, but the way it is pursued and experienced is fundamentally different, with the Sigma's freedom offering a quieter but no less profound form of achievement. Number 10, boundary setting as a defense mechanism. For Sigma's, boundaries are a fundamental defense mechanism, often silent yet incredibly firm and intentional. These boundaries are not merely walls, they are carefully constructed lines that protect the Sigma's autonomy and mental space. Sigmas understand that their time and energy are precious, and they set boundaries to ensure that only those who truly align with their values and goals are allowed close. They don't waste energy on superficial connections or people who drain their resources, both emotionally and mentally. These boundaries are not necessarily expressed openly or forcefully. Rather, they are inherent in the Sigma's actions, in their deliberate withdrawal from situations or relationships that don't serve them. By maintaining these unspoken limits, Sigmas keep themselves free from unnecessary distractions, allowing them to focus on what truly matters to them. Their boundaries aren't about shutting others out, they're about preserving their own inner peace and direction, ensuring that only meaningful interactions shape their lives. Alphas, however, approach boundaries in a more flexible and negotiable way. As they build and maintain relationships to solidify their position within social structures, they are often more willing to bend or adjust their boundaries to keep those connections intact. For an alpha, relationships are tools for social success, and they need to be nurtured and maintained. This means that alphas are more likely to compromise their boundaries if it means strengthening their social capital or maintaining a leadership position within a group. While they still have limits, they're often more open to negotiation, seeing boundaries as something that can be adjusted in response to the needs of the group or the dynamics of a relationship. The key difference lies in the purpose behind these boundaries. For Sigmas, boundaries are primarily about self-preservation, ensuring they are not bogged down by unnecessary distractions or energy drains. For Alphas, boundaries are tools to manage relationships and maintain their position, often allowing for more give and take in the process. Sigmas hold firm to their space, while Alphas are more likely to mold their boundaries to fit the social landscape, with both methods offering a unique form of strength in how they navigate the world around them. In the end, the contrast between Sigma and Alpha males isn't just about personality traits. It's a profound reflection of different approaches to life, influence, and power. Sigmas are defined by their quiet independence, their ability to carve their own path and thrive outside the bounds of conventional social structures. They don't seek validation or recognition, but rather they focus on maintaining control over their own lives, making decisions on their own terms, and moving through the world with an unmatched freedom. Their power lies in their ability to disrupt without confrontation, to influence through their presence, not their noise. Alphas, by contrast, build their world through relationships, structure, and social proof. They lead by example, commanding attention and respect through their visibility and outward displays of strength. For them, the social sphere is a necessary tool for validation and dominance, where their influence is reinforced by their ability to lead, manage, and be seen by others. They are driven by a need to be recognized, to be understood, and to be at the center of the action. Despite these differences, both Sigma and Alpha males wield power, though in starkly different ways. While Alphas thrive in social systems, Sigmas create their own. Both are formidable, each in their own right, but the Sigma's power is quieter, more internal, and infinitely harder to define. It isn't built on the need for validation, but rather on a self-contained sense of strength that allows them to carve out their place in the world without needing to fit into any predefined mold. At the core, what truly sets them apart is this: the Alpha seeks to shape the world around him, while the Sigma quietly shapes himself, leaving an indelible mark without ever needing to raise his voice. In a world that often celebrates the loud and the visible, the Sigma reminds us that sometimes the most powerful force is the one that remains unseen, quietly shifting the tides while others chase the spotlight. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the powerful dynamics between Sigma and Alpha males, don't miss out on more captivating insights like this. Hit that subscribe button and join our community where we unravel the complexities of personality, power, and human behavior in ways that keep you hooked. By subscribing, you'll stay ahead of the curve, gaining access to content that challenges the norm and pushes your understanding to new heights. Don't just watch, be part of the conversation. Subscribe now and let's continue exploring the fascinating world of human dynamics together. I will see you in the next video.